In this lesson, I will tell you about sweep command of AutoCAD. So here we have these two similar geometries and we have a circle here and a spline. Now both these geometries are made on two different planes. Let's start now sweep command from modeling panel of home tab and from this flyout. So click on sweep. Now look at the command line. You'll notice that this prompts you to select the object for sweeping. So select this circle and press enter. Now the command line will prompt you to select the path for sweeping. So select this path and here we have the swept geometry, which will not look like a complete geometry for now. So change this visual style and change it to shaded, and now you'll be able to see the swept path right now. So this is the swept path. But before making the sweep, make sure that the radius of this circle or curves on the path are not too small in order to make the sweep. So if you want to make the sweep, make sure that the geometries are of appropriate proportion with respect to each other. So let's press Ctrl Z to return back to the 2D geometries which we have. Now we'll use a sweep command with alignment subcommand. So let's select sweep, select this geometry, press enter. Now from command line you'll see here an option which is alignment. Let's select this alignment, and for the first case I'll select yes. So we want to align it perpendicular to path. Let's select yes and click on this path. So here we have this geometry with aligned path and we've selected yes in the aligned path subcommand. Now let's go to sweep again, select this geometry, press enter, select the alignment, and this time in this alignment option let's select no, we don't want to keep it perpendicular, and select the path. Now let's see the change which happened in both these geometries. So let's select shaded and you'll now be able to see the change. So here in this case, let's move to this front view to see this change more clearly. Now when you compare both these geometries, you'll see that in this case the former one, let's hide this geometry so that you can clearly see this. So let's hide it. Now in this geometry you'll be able to directly see that the original geometry which was on XY plane is maintained, but the path is not perpendicular. So original path has been followed and the geometry has been made as it is. In this case, the path which goes something like this is perpendicular to the initial circle. So this circle is perpendicular to this, and we have selected the respective option in alignment for making that. So that's the difference between aligning the path perpendicular to the original geometry and not aligning it. So now let's unisolate, bring all the objects back. Let's go to this home icon. And now let's move on to other geometries. So here also we have some geometries and we will use sweep command on these geometries. So let's move on to parallel view for clearly seeing this geometry. Now we have an option of sweeping with a scale. So let's select this polygon for sweeping. Let's select sweep command, click on this polygon, press enter, and now let's select this spline. And now here we have a swept geometry over that spline. Now in this case, the cross section of initial and final geometries are completely same, but we can change the cross section by using scale command. So let's do this. So let's go to sweep, select this polygon, press enter. Now from command line select scale and give it a scale of 0.5 units. So now once you give this a scale of 0.5 units, the geometry will start shrinking, and in the end the cross section will be half of its initial value here. So let's select this path and you'll see the result here. So the cross section which was initially here, this value has been reduced to this small cross section in the end. So you can also change this value to something like 1.5 or 2 if you want to increase the cross section in the end. Now so far we have selected a spline for making this sweep geometry. You can also use a polyline with sharp edges for making this sweep, but again you need to make sure that these edges are not too sharp, otherwise the geometry will not be made. So let's select sweep, click on this polygon, press enter, and now let's select this polyline, and here we have this geometry, and in this case it has been swept along that polyline. Now here again, when you'll notice, you'll see that this is completely straight swept path and there is no revolution in this. But if you want to twist this geometry to certain angle, you can also do that. So let's press Ctrl Z to return back to 2D geometry. Select sweep command, select this polygon, press enter. And now in this case, let's select this spline, but before doing that we will twist this geometry. So let's select this twist from command line and now enter the angle up to which you want to twist it. So if you want to revolve this geometry to complete 360 degrees, you can select 360, or if you want to revolve it to more than 360 degrees or even less, you can do that. So there is no limitation on the angle which you give here. So let's select an angle of 400 degrees and press enter. Now let's select this path. And here we have a twisted geometry. So this geometry starts twisting, and when it reaches back, it has already revolved to an angle of 400 degrees, which is more than a complete revolution. You can also select angles in smaller values. So let's say that we want to twist this geometry, but only to an angle of 60 degrees. So let's select 60 and select the path. And here we have this twisted geometry, although it does not look much like a twisted geometry, but it is a twisted geometry and it has been twisted only to an angle of 60 degrees. And you can see that here is a line which starts and it changes and it goes like this. So we do have a twist, but only to a value of 60 degrees. Now this was about sweep command. In next lesson, I will tell you about loft command of AutoCAD.